a little bit more interesting because we lost the midpoint of this channel, unfortunately, which is also our SR flip. We've tried to lose it for a second time. Potentially, what you'd want when you're losing a support like that, you need a back test, right? This is the back test. There's no respect. So what you can ascertain by that is that at the very least, support hasn't been lost yet. Yeah, because you've gone through it. Now this candle should be the back test, and in the back test, what's happened is the price has come right back above it. So it's like a little fake out. It's like a little failed auction of this area underneath this SR flip, which is this previous pivot. So for all intents and purposes, you could argue that we're still holding support, but now that you've lost it and come back above it, you also need to back test it again on the top side, just to make sure that there is support there for continuation. It can just be one candle giving it a little tap. Doesn't have to be crazy, but it'll be good to see a little back test for continuation to the upside if that's now what's going to happen, or at the very least, now that candles are closing, you want them to close above the SR flip level to confirm that the price is now back above that SR flip. Yeah, you want to see that. Otherwise, if you don't see that, price goes up, the next time it goes down, it might just go through. Yeah, you need to see that. So we've lost this midpoint. That's fine. That's normal. This is kind of looking like slurf a little bit, you know. Just this last part is looking a little bit like slurf. Down and down and down, I think. It looks very familiar. Look. Very familiar. No, it looks very familiar. Look, down and down and down. So they're looking very familiar. With a different combination or variation of the way and how the price moves. Okay. SLF is looking quite bullish now, so potentially this is also following the same path. I can't really remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, interestingly enough, look at that. That's really interesting. Look, if that's the 4, it's still valid. Yeah, this is still valid because you haven't, the condition is that you can't come underneath the 1. Yeah, so it's okay. Huh? It's still okay. When it comes to the 5, if this is the 4, I mean, I'm just making, I don't know. If this is the 5, you obviously got some trap liquidity in this range now that has to be cleared. So it may be possible that this 5 isn't going to be as bullish as you think. Yeah, just bear that in mind. You still need to see 5 waves. 3 of them are impulsive, but you may get into a situation where the last wave is just going to be a liquidity clearance exercise because this is finally coming to an end. Your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3, and then you're going to go into a sideways correction. Okay. It's more likely than not that this next correction that we see is going to be some kind of flatter correction than a deep correction. The reason why I say that is because you've had your deep correction. You know, you had 5 waves here, and you look at this really deep correction. So you've had a pretty deep correction already. So potentially here, with this next correction, wherever this 5 ends up, possibly just to clear the liquidity in this mini range that you've trapped a bit of liquidity here. Maybe not much. I mean, who knows? But the higher the better, obviously, because you have trapped liquidity there too. But no one can predict how bullish this is going to be. Just simply because you've come in quite deep here. The reason why you've come in quite deep here is because this 2 here was very flat. Yeah, so usually one is extended, one is flat, and they work on every arm of the extension. And so naturally you can see here that this whole one, this 2 was quite deep. So the next 2 after this 5 completes should be quite flat. You'd expect it to be quite flat. I think wherever we land here, you may end up with a higher time frame flat correction. Yeah, so I don't necessarily foresee a deep correction after we put in the last expansive move here to try and complete this 3. Then you'll be in a macro 4. Okay, so what I'm basically saying, just to kind of try and be as clear as possible, let me change the color of this because it'll probably make it a bit easier to see. This is your wave 1. To there. Let me change the color again. How do I do that? I'll print it first. So 1. Wherever this 5 ends will be the end of 3. Then you're looking for 4. Just because this channel, I mean, who knows, but you want it to be flat, really. You want it to be like this, and potentially for a 5. Let me just change the color so you can see that clearly too. And so here, so here's your 1 up to that 5. Here's your 2, your 3, all the way up to there. Wherever it ends, we don't know where it's going to end. And then you're looking for a 4. See that? So I think best case scenario, you go flat, hold somewhere, so these lows somewhere, I don't know where. And now this next one, because you've had a bigger 3, it is possible that this can be even bigger. You know, it is possible. Yeah. It's more likely to be bigger if this pushes higher to clear all of that liquidity. That's really what needs to happen. You need to clear all the liquidity in the historically, so that you can have a nice flat correction here, and then you can just go into price discovery really easily. That's what you want to see. All right. So that's QANX, and looks all right.